And then in the ninth inning, it looked like you walked down the rail and gave him some instructions, a little bit of a subdued celebration after the game.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, we're going to celebrate this. I mean, this is a home regional championship. And I think Stanford won tonight. I haven't had a chance to check in on everything. Okay, well, they didn't. So as of today, Arizona and Oregon State are the only two programs to win multiple regionals in the last 5 years. And I'm really, really proud of that. And so we're going to celebrate this victory tonight, and you're going to have no problem getting my attention, my staff's attention, or our players' attention for the next opportunity next weekend.
You alluded to this a little bit earlier, but how big of an advantage did it turn out to be to have a well-rested bullpen so you could match up as you wanted to throughout the course of the game?
It was a big deal. We were, and I shared this with you guys last week in that Dixie State series, we were borderline gassed. I mean, physically and mentally. And if you go back the previous 3 weekends, to win 2 out of 3 at Oregon State, to win the Pac-12 championship, we had a sweep of Washington. One was a 17-16 game where we had to use a lot of guys. Then, we had to beat Tyson Guerrero. The weekend before that, hard-fought battle at Stanford. And so, I mean, we were gassed last weekend. And so I'm proud of the team for winning 2 out of 3 in that series, as crazy as that might sound. But we got that extra day this week, then what's coming. And this is a great group of guys where they can, I don't want to say they turn it on, but they know when to step it up. And this week of practice was the best week of practice we've had since January, when I'm occupying as much of their time as I possibly can. We had a great week of preparation. We deserved this victory this weekend. And there was no doubt in my mind we were going to play well, because everything leading into it on the staff's perspective and the players' perspective was pointing towards us having success. So I'm proud of our program for everything they did this week.
Runs were hard to come by in these 2 games against UC Santa Barbara, no matter who they had out on the mound. But even though you maybe weren't at your very best offensively tonight, there were a couple of 0-2 hits that were big. One by Bullard before Holgate's home run, and then also McClary there in the 8th inning. Is that just an example of stick-to-itiveness, determination? How would you describe those 2 particular at-bats?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking down, and it's great to say, hey, it wasn't your best night, and we're 10 for 32. I'm not a math major, but that's still over a 300 batting average. There's 5 walks on the board. And then the 2-out hitting of what you're alluding to was golden. And that's actually what we call them. 2-out RBIs are golden. And so I'm really proud of those at-bats. Tanner had a big one. I don't think that was with 2 strikes. It was with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. Stayed on a ball. Nick had a sac fly in that 2-run inning. His hit in the 9th was huge and outstanding. Ryan, it's one of those things, like, you kind of see that at bat coming all week, and he had an outstanding tournament in terms of the quality at bats that he put together for us. It might have flown under the radar until that big home run tonight, but Ryan's a big reason why we won this weekend.
So Ryan, how good did it feel to hit that home run, knowing that your team was sort of struggling to get the bat on the ball, and also being able to pad the lead with everyone else being able to hold it down on defense?
It was awesome. It definitely wasn't as cool as winning this regional. But I was glad that everybody on the team was sticking with the plan, and we were all just doing what we do and what we work on every day at practice, and kind of just putting a good team effort into put some good wins together.
And then, since your team is the higher seed, regardless of the results tomorrow of the Southern Miss Ole Miss game, you will host the Super Regionals. Is this something that sort of motivates your team early on in the season, instead of like with series, once you take 2 games, wanting to get that 3rd game, knowing that game and many could pay off at the end of the year to get you to this high of a seed, knowing that you could then host the Super Regionals rather than playing on the road somewhere else?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole team just pumped up that we get to stay here in Tucson, because we love our fan base. Our fan base has been awesome. And they've had a great showing, just a lot of people coming out and a lot of support. And that's something that will always fire us up.
No dog pile at the end of this game. It seemed like it's sort of a relatively muted celebration, almost like you guys expected to win. Did you expect to win this weekend?
I feel like every game we go into, we expect to win, but I think there's no dog pile because we still got a long ways to go. We are working our way, and we worked our way into the Super Regional. So there's still a lot more business that needs to be taken care of, and we're just going to keep pushing forward and just have a good week of practice.
How enjoyable was it to douse Coach Johnson with water there at the end?
It's always awesome to give Coach Johnson a squirt. We like to get him wet.
And now that you've gone through one regional, you will host super regionals regardless of who wins tomorrow's game. How exciting is it to know that you're now familiar? Like, of course, you're familiar with their home field, but now you've played a regional, you played against teams you haven't played a lot so much. How much better is it to feel that now that you're going to go up against the super regionals, but you will be hosting them as well?
It's awesome. I mean, our atmosphere here is unbelievable. It's always fun playing here, and I know the guys are fired up about it, and so am I. But having that, just the home field advantage and all of that is just we're extremely blessed to have that.
Jay was talking about his vision for the program, and I think he sort of alluded to the idea that he pictured something like this happening, at some point in time. Is this kind of what you pictured when you first came to Arizona, winning a regional at your home field?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this school is a baseball school, and I know that with the coaches that we have, there's no doubt that we shouldn't be in a regional every year.
Preston, Jay talked about how much more depth the staff has as a whole. Now, where can you see that the most?
I mean, I don't see any area that lacks any strength. Our starters are insanely good. Middle relief guys, we don't really have titles for anybody except for the starters, but just having the guys that we do out of our bullpen and having the arms that we do, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to not be comfortable seeing who's coming out of the pen.
How different is that than a couple of years ago?
Extremely different. I feel that we still have the talent, but I don't think that we had the same mindset that we do this year and the same go get it attitude and just pulling for each other. I felt that a couple of years ago. It wasn't as tight as a unit, but this year I feel like everybody's just there for each other.